Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Wallis. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you all can see my presentation that I'm going to provide to you today. Okay, so let's get this up here. Hopefully everyone can see what's going on. Okay, so again, my name is Thomas Wallis, and I am an international student counselor at Tulsa Community College. Hold on one moment, having a little bit of technical difficulty. Here we go. And I am here to talk with you a little bit about community college in the United States, and specifically our school, Tulsa Community College. So I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day so far. I'm going to just start out a little bit about sharing with you a little bit about what a community college in the United States is, if you may be a little unfamiliar. When you think about higher education in the United States, most people probably think about four-year institutions that are research-based, those universities that are well-known, like Harvard and Princeton, Yale, Columbia, Northwestern, Ohio State University, all of these universities that are traditional four-year research universities. And they offer bachelor's degrees, graduate degrees, and doctoral degrees. But a community college is a little different from what you may think of when you think of higher education. And one of the biggest differences is that a community college is a two-year institution. So that means we offer what is called an associate's degree. And it's typically those first 2 years of a United States bachelor's degree. So those 4 year degrees offered by universities. And associate's degrees typically take 2 years, 2 to 3 years, but about 60 credit hours of work goes into one of those degrees. For a community college, the focus is a little different than what you would find at a university in the United States. Our focus is typically on equitable and affordable education. And it kind of comes with the name, community. So the focus of a community college is the community that it is in. So for example, I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and our college is Tulsa Community College. And we serve the needs of our county and the region around Tulsa. Those are the people that we work to provide education and services to. We work to meet the needs of our community, and that can mean a lot of different things. So that can mean providing education that's close by to where people live, accessible education. It can mean providing degrees that are needed in the workforce and by companies in the city that we're in. So we tailor the degrees that we offer to the city and the region that we are in, but they can be transferred to anywhere within the United States, and those skills can be used around the world. So when students complete their work at a community college, they typically will do one of two things. So they may transfer to one of those four-year universities, which means they take the 2 years or the 60 credit hours that they earned at a community college, transfer it over to a university, and use those same hours to complete their four-year degree. So once they're done at a school like TCC, they will move over to their university and complete the second 2 years of a bachelor's degree. They don't have to go back and retake classes. Those first 2 years are already done. Once they get to the university, they can get that bachelor's degree in just 2 years. Or students will enter the workforce. So we have a lot of students who go to school at TCC and in health programs. So in public health. So they do jobs like nursing or radiological tech, or we have engineers that go straight into the workforce, or our performing arts students. They may go straight into the workforce and outside of Tulsa and across the United States. So those are kind of the two options that you may have. I'm going to play a video for you right quick. All right, thank you for letting me share that with you. Uh, some of you may be wondering, I've talked a little bit about Tulsa Community College and where we are at. Our institution is located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you don't know where Oklahoma is, which a lot of you may not, we're this red state right here, kind of in the center of the United States. So if you are familiar with the US, you've got California over here, New York, Florida, and Texas. This big state here is Texas, and we are just to the north of that. So within the state of Oklahoma, uh, this is the kind of a map of Oklahoma, and right here is Tulsa County. So that is where Tulsa is located. Our metropolitan area is right there in the middle of that county. So I'll share a little bit about Tulsa and where I'm at right now. That picture there is downtown Tulsa, and our city is located on Native American land. So it's a very large city, has a large footprint, but our city is on the land of the Muskogee Creek Nation, the Cherokee Nation, and Osage Nation, who were all here before the city was founded in the early 1900s. Tulsa has just over 1 million people in our metropolitan area. So we're one of the top 50 largest cities in the United States, but we're still a fairly small city when it comes to all of the headaches you would normally have. We don't have a lot of traffic problems. You can get wherever you want within probably 20 minutes inside the city. But we have a large community uh, that is made up of 60,000 plus immigrants. So each year, more and more people come to Tulsa from around the world to make it their home. And there are some unique things about our city, and that we have a lot of focus on the arts and music, and there's a philanthropic spirit here. So many of our local and public institutions and our museums, our Philharmonic, the opera, all of those things have funding that's provided to them through philanthropists that made their money in oil, which is what Tulsa was kind of based on for a long time. So those families, the Kaiser family, the Schusterman family, they donate to to the arts and music and all kinds of other things. But they also provide a lot of money for education. So Tulsa Community College benefits from that as well. They donate money to provide student services, to endow faculty and create faculty chairs for them, and then also to provide scholarships. So a lot of our students will benefit from that philanthropic spirit here in Tulsa. Then just a little bit about Tulsa Community College and who we are. That picture there is our Metro campus, which is in downtown Tulsa. That was our first campus that was founded back in 1970. We just celebrated our 50-year anniversary last year amid the pandemic, so it wasn't quite as big a celebration as we had hoped, but we still celebrated. Uh, we serve about 23,000 students every year. So that's a pretty large population. It's the third largest at any institution of higher ed in the state of Oklahoma. And we have students here from over 65 countries. So it's a very international community. And it's a great place to call home for those students from around the world. And they can take classes at one of our 4 campuses. So Tulsa's very spread out when it comes to the size of a city with 1 million people in it. So we have 4 campuses that serve the area that the campuses are in. So whether that's the north, west, downtown, or southern side of our city, they all have campuses that provide education for those students in that area. And we offer over 120 degree programs. So those programs are very diverse too in what they can offer. So I mentioned the allied health programs like nursing and radiography, but we also have engineering, fire protection management, performing arts, music, theater, English. We also have a program that is an English as a second language program. So if you are looking to learn English or to improve your English, you can actually come to Tulsa Community College and participate in that program fully as an international student. They have classes that can meet you wherever you are at, whether you're beginning and just starting your English language training, or you are further along and maybe you just need a little bit extra before you start into your college level classes and earning a degree. But one of the best things about community colleges in general, and especially at TCC, is smaller class sizes, which allows faculty to really focus on the student. So on average, our classes have about 17 students in them. So you get a really one-on-one personal relationship with your faculty and your professors that helps you to learn and helps to meet your needs as a learner while you pursue your education. So my role at the college is within the International Student Services Office. And we provide quite a few services for all of our students. And you'll see International Student Services offices at community colleges around the country in the United States. At our office, we offer guidance to students from when they first apply or are looking to go to school, all the way until they graduate, and then past graduation and beyond into their careers and into the universities that they go to after our community college education. So we assist with the US immigration process. Part of that is providing documentation, helping you and coaching you through what it will be like to obtain a visa to come to the United States and entering the US, and then all the way through whenever you are applying for work authorizations once you graduate to maybe work for a year after you complete your degree. Those are all things we do that assist with immigration. We also help with adjustment to life in the US. When you're an international student, you're going to a new place, and it's a big decision and a big change, but our office is here to help you get adjusted to life in the United States and life in Oklahoma, which is a very unique place and within the United States. And we also support all international students at TCC. It's not just those students that come here on an F1 student visa. We support all international students, whether they have gotten a green card or a permanent resident card and are on their way to becoming a citizen in the United States. If they're a refugee, if they are here on asylum, we also help students that may be undocumented and no longer have a legal presence in the United States. We provide services to help all of those students that are international here. And one of the most important things we do, and that is done at all community colleges and throughout TCC, is connection to resources, making sure students have what they need to meet their goal. So my specific role is for student life, and that just means a student's life outside of the classroom when they're not studying or not in school. So that could be connection with peers, so meeting other international students, helping to provide them a network. I teach a class of orientation in the first semester that our students are here in the US that helps them to learn about the US, but also learn about the other cultures and countries that are represented within the international community here. So we set them up with that network of peers to support them, but we also connect them with faculty. So making sure that our international students are in classrooms that the faculty are really international themselves, that they value the global side of education. And that's very important at TCC. And we want to connect our students with faculty that'll help support them. I also do leadership development, helping students step out of their comfort zone, maybe develop some leadership skills through our True Blue Lead program, where they get training that they will need to move into the workforce after they get their degree. I also help with work authorization. So if a student while they're studying wants to work on campus, I help with that. Or after they complete their degree, I help them with the authorization from the US government to work for 1 year within the degree field that they got their degree in. So whatever your major is, if you get a nursing degree, you could potentially work in the United States while still on an F1 visa after you graduate, and I can help with that process. I also help students secure health insurance. So you probably have heard that medical care in the United States is not the best as far as affordability goes. It's very costly. So it's important that students have health insurance. And then even whenever a student may be working, they may be working on campus, they have to file taxes in the US, I assist them with that. So there's all of these things that we do in the International Student Services Office that really encompasses everything an international student may need. So for community colleges, one of the most important things is focusing on student success. We don't we don't have research as part of our mandate. So where you see big four-year universities across the US, a lot of their work is in research and development. And that is not something community colleges do as part of their missions typically in the United States. Our focus is on student success. And TCC was actually named #1 in student success for the year 2021. We recently given this award by the American Association of Community Colleges for all of our hard work in putting students on pathways to where they can be successful with their degrees. And it very much recognizes our mission to provide that quality and affordable education, which is part of the community college experience. So some of the ways that community colleges in the United States prioritize student success is by managing faculty expectations, by providing comprehensive student services, valuing student backgrounds. So honoring where a student is from, what their experiences are, and who they are is very important to a student's success. Making sure students are engaged. That's part of student success, making sure they feel like they're a part of the community. And we always remember that everyone can learn. Everyone can get an education. And our goal is to remove any barriers that are in the student's way to help them get the education and meet the goals that they have. So some of the ways we prioritize student success is through faculty expectations. So making sure that our professors and our faculty members know how to connect students with the support services that they need. So every student is different. We all learn differently. We have different ways that we may take in information, and it's important that our faculty know how to address the needs of every student. So our faculty go through extensive training and continuing education to help them be able to know how to connect students to the support services they need. Another part of that is the student professional education or per student and professor educational relationship. So making sure faculty are connecting with students and giving them time inside and outside the classroom to make sure that they understand what they're learning and make sure that they're providing that extra time that a student may need. That one-on-one relationship is one of the most important parts of a community college education. And faculty are able to do this and really focus on students because they're not required to do research. A lot of faculty at research institutions and four-year universities are required as part of their contract to do research that has nothing to do with the classroom. So our faculty don't do that. They can do it on their own. A lot of them publish their research, but it's not part of their job expectations. So they're doing it on their own because it's something they love to do and love to learn. They're not getting paid to do it. So what they're getting paid to do and what as students are paying them to do is to teach them, and that's what they focus on. And part of that expectation for student success is engaged learning. So engaged learning is a second level than just what's written in a textbook or in a lab manual. So that engaged learning is something like maybe service learning. So providing community service to the area TCC is in. So giving back, that's part of our engaged learning process, making sure students are actively a part of our community. Another way would be global education. We have global learning that falls under this umbrella of engaged learning. So making sure that global perspectives are built into the curriculum and giving students perspectives that are not just what we have here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll share a little bit more about how we do that later on. So that focus on student success is really bolstered by comprehensive student support services. So what that means is that all of our students, every single student, if you decide to come to TCC, will have access to full-time professional staff support. So we have professionals throughout the college, like myself, that are here to support students' needs. So one of those would be our academic advisors. So an academic advisor is someone who specializes in your degree that you are pursuing, that understands what's required to earn that degree, and helps you plan for your time while you're here at TCC, helps you pick out your classes, helps you find professors that will support you the best, and helps you navigate all of that from the point that you enter TCC all the way until your graduation. Those academic advisors are very knowledgeable and professionals who have earned degrees themselves to help them better support students as advisors. Another role at the college that would be part of this comprehensive student support service are our success coaches. So in addition to an academic advisor, you have an assigned success coach. And so these success coaches are professionals that help students connect to resources that they need. And maybe it's that you are facing some issues with paying bills, or you're facing issues, personal issues, and you have things going on in your personal life outside of the classroom. These success coaches are here to help you figure out how to manage those, how to manage your time, how to better take notes. All of these things are things that the success coaches can do, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. They can help you with those things. And another role that we have, and is very, very common for community colleges, having career specialists. So we have people that work full-time at the college who specialize in helping students get prepared to enter the workforce, get a job, and be employed after they get their degree. So what that means is they have connections with employers. So whether that's a local employer or a national employer or an international employer, our career specialists will know what jobs are out there and available for very specific degrees. So if you're majoring in nursing, they'll have connections to hospitals and organizations that employ nurses. They'll help you find those jobs and help you apply for them when you're about to graduate. But other things they do, they help with students developing their resume or your CV. So help you make sure you have an effective and communicative resume. So when you're applying for jobs, you'll be able to just have that ready to go. They can help with cover letters, but another thing they do is provide this service that would be for when you're job searching, and it allows for mock interviews. So they will bring a student in. If you would like to do this, you can set up an appointment with these career specialists to go through an interview. So maybe practice your interviewing skills. If you get nervous, or if you've never done an interview before, you can meet with a career specialist to go through a practice interview multiple times if you would like to just practice those skills before you go out searching for a job. And finally, one thing that has come from the COVID-19 pandemic is that we've gone virtual. I'm speaking to you virtually now, but our virtual support also has happened at the schools. So all of these academic advisors, success coaches, and career specialists can be accessed virtually. So you can meet with these people where you are. You can meet them from home. If you have a busy schedule and you're busy studying and you're busy in class, you can take a break time and just get on a computer and meet with them virtually. So those are some of the comprehensive student support services we offer and are very common at community colleges. Another part of this is health and wellness. So part of our support staff are focused on the health and wellness of our students, because we can educate students, and have them in classrooms, participating in lectures, participating in group projects, going through the paces of an academic degree. But if they are not taking care of themselves physically and mentally, then they may not be successful. So we have fitness centers on every campus that students can access without any additional charge. They have weight training facilities, fitness classes. A lot of those can be done virtually as well from home, as well as at our fitness centers. Rock climbing walls, indoor running tracks, those are all things that are offered at Tulsa Community College to help students with their physical health. And a little part of the mental health part of support services is we have professional counselors. So licensed professional counselors are available to our students to help them if they're dealing with mental health concerns. So if they're going through depression or stress or anxiety, students can talk with our licensed professional counselors, and it's completely confidential. It cannot be shared with anyone outside of the room with the person you're talking with. So it's a great resource for students to help manage their lives outside of the classroom and inside the classroom. And if for some reason a student can't, if we're not in business hours or it's middle of the night, we have services that students can call at any hour of the night or any day of the week and get support if they're in crisis. So they can call or even text with those support services to help if they're in a mental health crisis. And part of the investment that we have done for our students is allowing students to also offer their own support to each other. So we have a peer mental health program that allows students to get a scholarship to do programming and to offer services to their peers to make sure that all the needs are being met. So all of these professional support staff may not know exactly what a student needs. So it's important we listen to the students, which is why we have groups like the Peer Mental Health Program to talk about mental health. We have an international student organization that allows our international students to make sure their voice is being heard, and they can tell me what services they may need and where we are lacking so we can make sure we can help them. So another portion of our comprehensive student support services you may find at a community college, and you definitely will at TCC, are tutoring services. And at TCC, there's no additional charge for these tutoring services. We have a writing center where students can go whenever they're writing a research paper or putting together a lab report for a biology class or a chemistry class. They can take those writing assignments to our specialized tutoring support in the writing center, and they'll help them fix any problems they may have before they turn it in to their professor. We have a science and math lab on all of our campuses that provides in-person tutoring for engineering students, for those allied health students that are in nursing or radiography, or those students that may be going and taking physics. All of those classes can be very difficult. So we have a science and math lab available that provides both in-person and online virtual tutoring without any extra charge. We have language labs on our campuses that allow students who are learning another language other than their native language, and it helps them to have a space to practice that language with other people who are also studying that language. So those are available. We also have virtual tutoring. So if the writing center, the science and math lab, or language lab isn't available, then you can also talk to someone virtually online at any time of day or night and any day of the week. You can text or call or set up appointments with virtual tutors without any additional charge again. And that's provided to all of our students. So it's very comprehensive in the support that our students need. And I wish I had these things when I attended and got my degree at a four-year institution when I was going to school. I would have definitely used these, and it would have helped me be more successful if I had all of these available to me. I'm going to kind of wrap up this comprehensive student support part, but part of that is also accessibility resources. So we have an entire office of 20 plus people that work to provide accommodation and serve as advocates for students with disabilities. So if you have a disability or you have a specific learning style that you need help with, we have an office that can support that. And we have gone a step further at Tulsa Community College. We have a resource center for the deaf and hard of hearing. So we have specialized interpreters, captioning services, specialized tutoring. We have academic counselors that are specifically trained and to help to work with the community that are deaf and hard of hearing. And that is often supported because we have an American Sign Language program here that trains people to interpret sign language. So that's a very specialized thing that we offer. So we hope that we can provide that to all of our students. So touching back to how a community college focuses on student success is that we value each student's experience. Your socioeconomic background, your family background, your religious background, where you are from in the world, that is all valuable and a valuable part of who you are, and it shapes how you will be a student and it shapes how you'll learn. So it's important we honor that. And so we value each student's experience and want to make sure we meet you and provide all the provide all of the services you need to remove any barriers for you to be successful. So one of the ways we have worked to kind of engage students and bring their experience into the classroom is through the academic cultural exchange program. It's a program that brings international students into classrooms that they may not be enrolled in the class, but they go into a classroom and share their experience and their view on what a student is learning. So if it's a literature class, this class may be reading a certain book, and the class may be full of students just from Oklahoma. So we bring in international students, and they share their experience and how they view what they're reading and what the themes of the book is. Or if you can kind of see in this picture here, you have the three international students here in the foreground. It's one of our training dummies or training uh, resources there in the back in the bed for our respiratory care program. So a lot of you may be more familiar with respiratory care due to the pandemic. We train at TCC health professionals to go out and work as respiratory care specialists. So those people that have had to go on ventilators because of COVID-19, the people that administer that are respiratory care professionals, specialists. And we train them at TCC. And that picture there is one of our classes for respiratory care where we brought international students into the classroom. A couple of them only, for part of the experience, they only spoke their native language to each other. So the students in the class who are training to be respiratory care specialists had to work with them despite them speaking a different language, because that happens in healthcare. You may not have an interpreter for whatever language is there when you go into a hospital. So TCC works to train our students on cultural competency and how to engage with people who may not speak the same language or be from a different world area. And that really helps the Tulsa area and our healthcare here to be more welcoming and to be able to serve people from around the world and serve our immigrant community. So these students acted and kind of pretended as if they were doing this. And the student that's standing was able to kind of practice her training on students as well. It's faculty driven. Our professors love this opportunity to bring international students into the classroom. They are our student leaders. So these three students sitting in the foreground are some of our most experienced student leaders that have volunteered their time to go in and share their experience and share their culture and their backgrounds with a classroom of people they may not have known. This really helps TCC create a space for welcoming people from around the world. The more that we do this, the more our students from Oklahoma who may have never left Tulsa really learn about the world and meet people from different areas and different backgrounds. It's a really great experience, but it's part of how we value each student's experience at TCC. So I'm kind of moving into the end of my presentation, but I want to make sure to share with you how to apply to TCC. We do have a booth in the fair, so you can stop by and talk with me after the presentation, and I'll be there to talk with you if you have any questions about TCC and maybe want to apply. But the application process is fairly simple. There's just two steps to apply to TCC and be admitted, and that first step is the online application. You go online to our website, tulsacc.edu, and you'll fill out biographical information. So your academic background, your biographical information, a little bit about yourself in that application. Once you submit that, then you'll get an admission decision within about 2 weeks. It's pretty quick, and there's no application fee. You can apply free of charge to TCC. I do want to note right here, this picture that you see is a few of our international student leaders. That was here on campus. We hosted a naturalization ceremony where about 60 people were becoming US citizens, and our international students spoke at the ceremony to welcome them and to TCC and just to provide some leadership on campus. So that's a few of our students there. Before I move on to the second step of the application, I want to mention we do have an international student organization. You can look there at the bottom at facebook.com/groups/TCCISO. And you can see what we do. And if you want to become a member of the group before you become a TCC student, you can see and kind of engage with our students. So that's step 2 of our application process is the I-20 application. So an I-20 is a document that's issued by us, by a college in the United States or a university in the United States, on behalf of the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. You use that form I-20 once you've gone through the process to get your visa. So we issue that I-20 after you filled out the packet. There is a checklist in our packet that has all the documents you need and that are required to apply. So you can kind of use that checklist to go through the process of getting an I-20 and coming to the US on a visa. You can find that application packet on our International Student Services website. It's just tulsacc.edu/ISS. And you go there and then you go into step 1 and there'll be a download option there where you can pull up the packet. You'll fill out the packet electronically on your computer and then email it to us at iss@tulsacc.edu. Once we have all the required documents and your application is submitted, it only takes us about 2 days to reply to you and create your I-20. So we're really within the window for our next semester. Well, our next semester will start in January of 2022. So we can still help you apply, get admitted, and come to Tulsa just to start classes in January. So we're in that time frame right now where we can do that for you. So after the application, you will receive your I-20. We can mail it to you, and you'll use that to go to your visa appointment. So the advice we have is to consult with your U.S. embassy or consulate in your country that's nearest to you. Every consulate and embassy is different right now. So visa wait times vary by country. So some countries, it may just be a day or two to get a student visa appointment. It may be a year. It depends on where you're at. Hopefully you're not in one of those places with a year. But it's important to check with the visa wait times online. But if it says emergency appointments on a U.S. embassy or consulate website only, if it says emergency appointments only, student visas are included in that. So you can still sign up for a student visa appointment interview if it says emergency appointments only. So that's a great thing to remember. And then once you've got your visa, you'll just travel to Tulsa and join us here. Our office is set up to help all those students as you travel to the US. We have emergency contact information that's 24/7 all day and all night that if you're crossing the border coming to the US on a visa, we are available to assist you if you run into any problems at the border or going through customs. So that's a service we provide in our office. And then once you're here, we can help you find housing, get set up with health insurance, figuring out how to get a driver's license and buy a car. Our office provides all of those to help you get through the process of living in the US. Do want to share one last video with you really quick. That was just a few of our students here at TCC and making sure you understand that message that you belong here and you belong at TCC. So if you feel like you want to come here, we'll be happy to help you. If you have any questions, like I said earlier, you can visit me at our booth within the virtual fair, or you can take a snapshot of this and you can email me at thomas.wallis@tulsacc.edu. You can call me at 918-595-7533, or you can go to our website, which is tulsacc.edu/ISS. And we actually have a virtual office hours there where during the week from 9 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. in Central Standard Time, you can get on Zoom and talk to us one-on-one, and we can have a virtual appointment with you. You can find that link on our website. So that's all I have. I appreciate all of you and all of your time. And I hope I can see you at our virtual fair or talk to you at our virtual fair booth or talk to you via email or on Zoom. Thank you all very much.